Welcome back to Gil's Arena, presented by Underdog. Whoa, whoa, woo, woo. There we go. We're coming to you from the Emporium Arcade Bar here in beautiful San Francisco for All-Star Weekend 2025. As always, we got the legend, former Warrior, Gilbert Arenas in the building. What it do? And we got the man known as Cemetery Larry, Rashad McCants, here with us. And shout out to our DJ T-Mackin for holding it down for us. But we got two special guests pulling up to the arena right now. They were kind enough to come show some love. The OGs of the player basketball podcast space, NBA vets. They're both world champions of the world, cannabis advocates, media personalities, and they've been holding it down for more than 5 years with their All the Smoke show. Shout out to All the Smoke Productions as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. Yeah. Better known as Matt and Stak. Yeah. What's up? What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
What up, world? What's up? What's up?
Yeah. All right. So we want to give a special shout out to Anscape for sponsoring these shows here at All-Star Weekend. Make sure you check out my new film, Memes and Nightmares, in partnership with Anscape, premiering Thursday, February 20th on Hulu. The film examines inside the world of NBA Twitter and its impact on the basketball community. So make sure you check that out. And if you have not downloaded the Underdog app, do so right now. Use promo code GIL, get up to $1,000 in bonus cash, plus a special pick'em.
Yeah, Joe, pay them fucking bills, Joe.
All right, we already know. We got to get this bread.
Pay them bills, Joe.
Yeah. Got to get this bread. Yeah. So we got to talk. Obviously, you guys both former Warriors, a part of that We Believe team, legendary. You know, we had Baron Davis on one of our earlier episodes talking about it a little bit. But how have you seen basketball change in the Bay from the We Believe days until now?
Man, yeah, really it kind of started, Gil and Jay Rich kind of started the movement that turned into We Believe, and I kind of feel like we took the We Believe to a certain level, and then Steph and his crew and Dre and them kind of came and took it to the next level. But the one thing I'll say about the Bay, man, is just the love is endless. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about what We Believe was, we won one playoff series. You know what I mean? And they act like we killed King Kong, Godzilla, and became president. So the love is real. I remember when we weren't good that year, the love was always so real and authentic. So I remember when I came back here in 17 and got a chance to be with that team and get a championship, the players, the media, and even the fans were still talking about what we did in 2007. So, I mean, we love the Bay. I'm from an hour away from here. This will always be my second home, but I just love how loyal Bay Area fans are to their teams.
And then, Stak, how about yourself? How cool is it to see what you guys helped establish with the We Believe Warriors, and now all the success the Warriors have had turned into a dynasty, 4 championships, highest valuation amongst all NBA franchises?
I mean, it's a blessing. When we came here and got to the playoffs, they had a 13-year drought. You know what I'm saying? So I think we was able to bring the winning feel back to the Bay, but they just took it to another level with bringing championships. But, you got the Hampton 5 and you got the Fillmore 5. You know what I'm saying? And I'm honored to be a part of the Fillmore 5. So the love is different. The love is different, but, it's still love. So shout out to them and a shout out to my We Believe team.
So, Stak, you talked about how you guys ended the 13-season playoff drought. Matt, you said y'all won the series, but let's take it back to that night y'all clinched the series. We have talked about this previously, but just for this crowd here, how turned up did you guys have it that night, the We Believe Warriors advancing the playoffs?
Yeah, we cracked that night. You would have thought we did more than just win the first round series, but we went back to Jack used to live at, what was your condo called?
Lakeshore.
Lakeshore Drive in Oakland. So
Lake Mary.
Yeah, Jack lived on this floor, and then our coach Nelly lived on the penthouse. So we go over to Jack's and smoke and drink and chill a little bit. And then we stopped by Nelly's house before we was about to come to the city. We get up in the room to Nelly's condo. The first thing he says is me, him, Baron, Al. Who else was with us? And Al. First thing Nelly says, "Hey, fellas, Woody's in the back rolling doobies." So I guess Woody Harrelson was on his back patio rolling joints, and he told us as players to go back there and smoke with him. So that's what kind of coach we had. Obviously, you saw what kind of team we had, so just all around, everybody was burnt. And then, so we went out that night. And then Snoop had ended up being in town, and we ended up going by the Ritz. and smoking with Snoop. So we're the Ritz in San Francisco. When I tell you, bro, we smoked so much weed that night that the security came in the room, and instead of telling us to put it out, because they're not gonna tell Snoop to put out shit, me and Jack are tripping. We hear the bang, bang, bang. We're like, oh shit, we still in season. Like, we about to get arrested. So they come in, these motherfuckers, all they do is unscrew the windows and just so the smoke can go out and bring a fan in there and just make it more suitable. So it was a crazy night, especially for, like I said, for a first round playoff win.
But let's not forget that Dallas was the #1 seed with the MVP, and we sent their ass home.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
You mean you shut down somebody specifically?
Man, you know what time it is. Me and Matt, we did what we had to do against Dirk. He was the best player that year, but that was big for us. The only bad thing about that was Don Nelson championship. Yeah, so after we beat Dallas, he didn't give a fuck where the season went at all.
He got his get back.
Hey, we was in the playoff. I was telling Calvin Booth, I said the Golden State series is going to be so loud.
Yes.
We won 19 games my first year here. In the effort that the second unit was given, we got standing ovations. The following year, we won 40-something games, and it was a sold-out arena, and everybody was going crazy. So when I seen you guys making it to the playoffs, I knew that shit was about to be rocking. You can hear that energy from the TV. That shit was crazy.
Matt and Stak, I got a question for y'all. Do you guys believe that the best players deserve not only criticism, but sometimes unfair criticism?
Yeah, I definitely believe they do, because a lot of people have better careers than me, but I bust their ass a lot of nights. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stars got dealt with a lot of nights. You know what I'm saying? So I can definitely say that. You know what I'm saying? Because we all out there playing basketball. We all wake up. We all work out and try to do the same things to be great. And they have bad games just like the non-stars have bad games. So yeah, of course they human.
No, I mean, mighty is the shoulders that has to wear the crown. I mean, you get a lot of money, you get a lot of love, and you're going to get a lot of heat. I think it kind of goes hand in hand. Yeah, I think that's just how it goes. A big responsibility. I mean, Gil was someone who carried his team. When they won a lot, he would get love. When they didn't, it was all his fault, even if he played good. So that just kind of comes.
I ask people to look at it like Mortal Kombat, right? As you go up the ladder, does it get easier or does it get harder?
It gets harder.
All right, when you face Shang Tsung for the first time, do you beat him the first time?
Nah, you gotta continue about 30 times before you beat him.
Man, we the new
Depending
media.
on how much money I got.
We the new media, right? You get to the boss, we the boss. You gotta overcome our criticism, because we know you. We've been there as players.
Right.
When we criticize the players, they gotta understand it's not coming from a personal level. We're the bosses up here at the boss. Once you beat us, you at the top.
I think, Shot, to your point, I think you can take the criticism, but I think it's come to a point now where people are losing respect or crossing the line of disrespect. Like, criticize everything about a player. We put ourselves in a position for you to do that. I think I have an issue sometimes, and I'm not even one of these players now. I think they're a little bit more sensitive to the shit because they're always hearing shit. But I just feel like and I think it started with the Stephen A's and the Skips and everything, where they took it from critiquing their game to talking about the man. Yeah. And that's where I think a lot of players have issues at.
And they were saying worse things about us, bro. Somebody called me a horrible human being after I shot a air ball one time. So they wasn't even saying stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So they got it good. They got it good. But I mean, you should be happy we talking about you, bro, because I could take it better from somebody that actually played the game. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Matt said we ain't making it personal. You know what I'm saying? We just doing our job.
Yeah.
So, man, you talked about Stephen A. Smith. Y'all have had him on All the Smoke, right?
Yeah.
He's supposed to come on Gil's Arena, still ducking to Stephen A. You said a few weeks. It's been close to 2 months.
You know why he don't want to. You know why he don't want to come on here.
Just reminding you,
know why he don't want to.
You don't want them problems?
Just remind you.
You don't want them
We
problems,
got
Shot?
body bags and toe tags waiting for him over here. You know.
But in seriousness, I'm sitting on this couch with 3 former players who really helped lead this movement of player basketball. We don't want to call them podcasts anymore because they're shows so much bigger than podcasts. Just a player movement, shifting from being players now to being, we don't like to call ourselves the media, but that's technically our distinction. But how much have you enjoyed seeing the basketball player podcast space grow since launching All the Smoke in 2019?
I mean, it's a huge shift. You know, we got a chance to sit down with Darius Miles earlier, and him and Q kind of started this movement. Or Jalen Jacoby had some on ESPN, but when he comes to actually podcasts, I think, you know, Q and D Miles started this. We came right after them. But I love the fact that what used to be said was the gospel, whether it was true or not. Whatever the media said, whatever they printed in the paper, whatever they said on ESPN was the truth. And I think with us kind of coming in and letting people know, obviously there's another perspective and other point of views in the truth. Because I mean, that's why a lot of players didn't fuck with the media back in our day, because we can give them a whole piece and they'll take this piece and flip that bitch and twist it and make it sound like something we never even said. So I think we just allowed people to have their own space, their own platform, and along while we were doing that, we were encouraging other people to do it. Like me and Jack, like I said, we weren't stars. Jack had a more accoladed career than I did. We were role players for the most part, or I was a role player for the most part. So if you see someone post-career kind of doing their thing, to me, if I feel like I could do it, it probably inspires anyone else that, hey, shit, we can do it too if they're doing it. So I think what I love the most is we kind of open that door for a lot of other people to come in. But the reason why I don't look at you guys or any of our other brothers and sisters in this space, because we all have our own unique journey, our own unique perspective in the way we see the game. But to Jack's point, 10 out of 10 times I'd rather listen to someone who did it than didn't do it, period.
And that's the big fight right now. It's not even a fight anymore. I guess they didn't see it coming. They didn't see the athlete coming in and making an impact, right? So what ended up happening is we can sit here and have a full conversation and just talk sports and life. They're looking for drama. They're looking to try to put us in some type of web because they needed a rating. So when players started to connect with each other, do interviews here and there, it kind of conflicted with what they were used to doing. And now that more players is coming in, like, we can do what y'all do. You can't do it. You can't get our information because we were there in real time. You have to ask someone. You have to call a general manager for that general manager to give you the side he wants you to say. We can call a player ourselves and say, what's going on? And then put it out there, right? And I think that's what's happening now. And there's a reason there's this big shift in sports. Fans want to hear directly from the players themselves because we can give you what we experienced, what our teammates experienced, what was going on in our head at that moment in time.
And I also think, too, Gil, you don't need the machine behind you no more. You know what I mean? I was fortunate, and don't get me wrong, I worked for ESPN for 4 years. I did Fox for a year. I worked for the Kings, the Clippers. I enjoyed those outlets and those platforms, but we don't necessarily need those anymore. Before, to have your voice heard when this shit kind of first started, you had to be on an ESPN or a Fox or know someone at the LA Times so they could, you know, write down what you're talking about. But you don't need these big machines anymore to get your point across. You don't need to get the eyeballs to go viral because, again, like Gil said, we've always been the source, and they've always reported on us. Now we're reporting on ourselves and giving our brothers and sisters an opportunity to give their own firsthand encounters. And Jack always says, you know, to be able to shape your own narrative. Again, I had a crazy reputation. He had a crazy reputation. Shit, all four of us that actually played in the league have fucked up reputations, if you're going to be honest. All of us have fucked up reputations. But then to see all of us in this next career having reputable platforms with tons of fans and giving you guys real shit that you guys love and appreciate. So I think that it shifted. I'm glad that it shifted, and I don't ever see it really going back the other direction.
I have a clean reputation, ladies and gentlemen. I did sell weed a little bit in college, but
You got the clean one?
other than that,
Joe was getting in trouble at UCLA too. Don't let him fool you.
a lot of people, me and Matt went to UCLA together. I got to come up underneath y'all and kind of just watch when y'all were at Showtime Basketball. Y'all have since gone on and built your own platform with All the Smoke Productions. But Stak, I'll ask you that same question. How cool is it for you to see that you've helped really lead a movement in terms of former players, current players, having the strength, courage to be able to launch their own platforms, get their own narratives out, control narratives, and really just entertain the people?
Well, I mean, for me, it's just been a blessing. You know, I had no idea what I was doing after basketball, but like I always say, God blessed me with an unbelievable team. Jelani, Matt, Brian Daly, the whole crew, Christina. I got a great crew around me, bro, that really built this thing. You know, I've been blessed to just be a part of it. You know, my knowledge of the game is just something I have, but the platform and everything that's inspired from All the Smoke to All the Smoke Fight to everything we got going now, I gotta really give props to my team. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, God's put me in a great position after basketball to be around great people that believe in me and that's giving me opportunities to do great things. So I'm here simply because of the people around me, and I got to give all the props to them.
Well, I mean, and I'm gonna give you more flowers because this is another moment that is because of you, I'm here. There was a moment in the league when you and Matt had just signed his deal with the Warriors, and y'all was about to go back and try to do the thing again, and I was hanging with y'all in the summertime. BD, all y'all was kicking it with y'all. I was just tagging along, right? So y'all showing me the ropes. Big three come. You know what I'm saying? That's a trend-setting moment for all the former players to recirculate, to reinvent, to reestablish their images. Here we go again, the podcast. The true transition into entrepreneurship, sponsorships, you know, investments, getting money off the court. It's another thing that we haven't seen as former players because we don't get them opportunities like that.
Right.
So you two just, you know, you trendsetted something that propelled Gil to go into his mastermind lab and say, let's create something even better. You know what I'm saying? Like where we can really debate this shit like we talking in the motherfucking basement. We all going back and forth. You know, like a question like, hey man, is it Kobe or is it LeBron? Tell me why.
It's Kobe.
You know what I'm saying? Is it Kobe? Like some of us know that answer right off. You know what I'm saying? But when we had that conversation though,
Matt,
it gets real uncomfortable,
like
don't
Kobe?
I mean, he was a killer. His body of work, he rode the ship till the ship sunk. He didn't make a move to go chase nothing. The work he put in, the teams he took there, to be able to do it without Shaq, to be able to play through the injuries I seen him play through, he was just a killer. All around, and again, that's not knocking what LeBron has been able to accomplish because he's, to me,
Nah, we can't do that.
I feel like
we in the Bay, we get it.
I feel like you can. I feel the three greatest players of all time are MJ, Kobe, and Bron. So to me, you can throw any of those three up, and however you slot them, I don't have an issue with that. But I just, it's weird that I feel like the outside, the non-athlete media always kind of leaves Kobe out of the top 5 or sometimes the top 10, and it's crazy because the guys that played with him or against him understand what he was about, understand that drive and that killer he had. But again, to me, that's not knocking because I think Kobe is ahead of Bron. That doesn't mean I dislike Bron. I think Bron is fucking incredible. And for him to still be doing what he's done and the doors he's opened, and he's got his son on the team, and he's gonna be an owner. He's gonna be the owner of the Vegas franchise when that shit happens. Like, he's done shit that we normally don't get opportunities to do. So I think as far as on and off the court, I think Bron is probably the all-time GOAT, but I just think when it comes to basketball, I think it's MJ, Kobe, and then Bron is a respectful third.
All day long.
So, Matt, you talked about Bron and Bronny, but I want to shift it over to both of you. It's crazy every time I see y'all kids, I always have to remember that they're cousins. That, you know, I mean, you got your twins over at Crespi, Gil. You got Elijah reclassing. You know, he made a college choice. I'm not going to say I support it, but he's going to USC. You know, congrats, if I don't. But how are you guys just preparing them mentally for the next level, getting to the league and everything that comes on and off the court?
Well, I think it's dope to be able to see, you know, obviously our sons are cousins, and I used to be around Elijah when he was in diapers, and Gil was around the twins when they just came out, you know what I mean? So to just kind of see where all of our kids are gone, because he's got obviously 3 more kids that are fucking killing it too, but just to think that we kind of helped raise each other's kids, and now they're in high school and in college, and, you know, obviously Elijah's a top 5 player in the country and going to SC next year, and the twins are sophomores kind of making their way. And I just think that there's a lot of shit going on these days. There's a lot of different distractions. So the whole approach with me and the twins is just mental. mental. You know what I mean? Let's figure this mental shit out. I'm gonna get you trainers to do the skill shit. I still work with them for the most part. They have some trainers, but it's the mental approach because there's just so many shit in the possibilities are few and far between. So let's mentally prepare not only for hoop but for life because I want them to be successful no matter what arena they play in. But it's been fun. I mean, I'm leaving this interview in 15 minutes to fly back to LA because they got a playoff game, and then I'm flying back tomorrow to come back to work. So that's just
they start. Oh, they're today.
the second round of playoffs tonight.
Oh,
second round.
Y'all like a week in front of us.
So yeah, I'm flying back tonight just to watch them play. But I can't speak for Gil, but watching them play is my biggest pride and joy in my life. Like I had a fun NBA career and did a lot of shit, but just watching my sons play the game they love and continuing to get better, I love it.
I mean, just as a proud father,
I see you cheesing right now, Gil. You glowing and shit.
No, because we was 0-3 against them last year, right? They whooped our ass. We got that win this year, right? Because their team is a lot better.
Gil was jumping up and down in that bitch like they'd won it.
Hey, that was the championship. Their team is stacked, and they got the cousins. They got the coaching, the players is better. So we got to win, and that's like the family talk right now between the cousins. So, but it's playoff times, and both sides is gearing up. We won't play them in the playoffs. They're all in the southern section, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're in private school. We're in public, but.
Nothing wrong with private school.
Hey, the fucked up part was I begged Gil. Gil wouldn't let Elijah play with the twins. I wanted the twins and Elijah to kind of play together because I feel like they could have won a national championship if they put his son with the twins and we had a couple other pieces. But Gil, I respect his angle and his point of view now, seeing the player that Elijah has become.
Yeah, it was tough, but it's the idea was when you're trying to get to college and that next level, it's about building you, and I tell parents, just like I told him, is when you get put on a team by yourself, you have to do everything, right? You have to defend, you have to bring the ball up, you have to stop the best player, you have to break the press, you have to hit 7, 10, shots in a row. You're gonna lose making turnovers and all of that stuff. So you're building a Superman. So now when he plays with his cousins, he knows what armor to take off because, okay, y'all can shoot, y'all can do this. I don't need these attributes. So I said sometimes we get so caught up into winning high school championships, right? Them high school championships don't get you scholarships. It's your play because they have their own team. They just need a couple players. So that was our road. Everybody has their own road. Everybody's road is different. You just got to run your race.
So question for the couch now that you bring that up, Gil, and I'm going to start with you, Stak. Would you rather you already have a championship, but a championship or an MVP, what do you feel like is more important for a player's legacy?
These days? You say these days?
Yeah, or
these
just
days,
for you first and foremost, what would you?
For me, a championship off the rip.
So championship above an MVP?
Yeah. I won on every level in my whole career, on every level I played on. But these days, they thinking about that MVP because that's going to bring in that bigger bag.
Absolutely.
Shad, I know you agree with that.
Oh, you know how I am. We win shit over here, man.
Yeah.
Is it obvious?
we win shit and we share shit, man. We like to share the pot. Everybody eat. Ain't no one man above the crew over here, man. Pass the peas like we used to.
The great ones did both.
And the great ones did do both.
The great ones did both.
So, Matt, I asked you that same question. Obviously, you already won a championship. MVP or championship, what's more important for a legacy?
What's more important for what? A legacy?
A legacy, yeah.
I mean, people don't, when you're talking about great players, they don't talk about, it's always championship is the first thing that comes up, Guys that have acquired MVPs, I mean, to say you're the best player in the best league in the world, that's a lot of shit. But sometimes the MVP doesn't always go to the best player. So that's what I'm saying. The championship always goes to the best team. So
and I'll just put this caveat up there, and we talk a lot about this on the show, but the way the league is, it's a business, right? So you're at the mercy of your front office, your GM, to put that team together, and really all you can control is the individual there. So if they put a championship-level team, right, you want to aspire to win a championship. If you don't got a championship-level squad,
Go for that if you're an MVP.
yeah, I got to get this MVP. Who, four-time champion?
Hey, so that's a good question.
Four-time champion LeBron James?
Hey, that's a good question. So is the MVP supposed to be the type of player to raise his team's level of play to win the championship?
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, the MVP is a regular season award, right? So they give it to you who has the best regular season, right? So perfect example. Go back to Dirk. He was the best that year, but he got knocked out in the first round.
He got that.
But he was the MVP of the regular season. So it's a regular season award. It's not the whole season award.
And let's shift over to Gil. Gil, I see you looking.
Of
see your brain working.
Incentives.
My brain don't work. My brain don't need
Ask
to work
Gilbert.
on
Gilbert got a lot of incentives.
my answer.
Gilbert know about them incentives. The extras in that contract, average a certain amount, get a certain amount of steals.
Gil said MVP. Gil said, fuck the championship. Give me the MVP.
Yes, sir. I'm taking the most valuable player. There's 450 people. I am the most valuable player. Hey, on that ring, there's about 50. It's like the Wu-Tang Clan out there. There's about 15 of you motherfuckers out there. When I get my award, it's just me. Okay? I'm up there just solo, just. I get to say, I want to thank my family. I want to thank God. I want to thank God. I want to thank my family, hard work. And then you do this shit. I want to thank my team for getting me the ball. You know, you start doing shit like that. Nobody's ever heard the 15th man on the NBA championship say shit.
This nigga crazy.
And y'all heard Swaggy P's thankful speech after he won his ring?
Didn't he talk about doing coke or something?
Huh?
Didn't he talk about doing coke in his interview after he won the championship?
Yeah, he was here. Weed with the coach. You really want him talking?
So hold on. So you won the championship, Matt?
Yep. Golden State.
2 champions.
You won. What kind of role did y'all play on y'all championship squad?
I played a big role in mine. My team don't win the championship if I don't. Yeah, my team don't win the championship if I don't step up. My team don't win the championship at all.
Nah, cause Nick get a lot of slack for just being there.
Yeah, no, a lot of people get a lot of flack for just being there, but I wasn't just being there. I was my second year in the league. I ended up starting halfway into the season. I was the third leading scorer on the championship team, and some nights the leading scorer with Tim Duncan. So. You know what I mean? Western Conference Finals, Game 6, I led the team in scoring.
But the meaning, I asked that because it's like, when you a champ, you a champ.
Right.
You a champ, you a champ.
You a champ, you a champ.
I had a part in it regardless of how many minutes we played because we a team, right?
Well, yeah.
There's strategy, practice, there's all the shit that, when I do get my minutes, I'm a part of this shit just as much as anybody else, right?
KG said that last night. The last man on that roster with a jersey on is still respected.
Come on, man. And then we leaving all that respect out due to the fact that they not MVP or they don't get 30 minutes a game. And it's like we shit on the niggas that's helping. They play the role.
Yeah.
They play the role for the champions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what me and Nick is corner boys, man. We got to rep for the corner boys.
Shout out to the corner boys.
The coach of this team here right now, Steve Kerr, he didn't play the whole playoffs. Game 6 in the Western Conference Finals, Pop put him in the second half. He come in and hit 4 threes. So it's all about, they used to tell us, the best used to tell us, stay ready. You never know when you get your opportunity, stay ready. That's a prime example, so everybody matter, bro.
So we talked a little bit about, obviously, you guys being some of the architects of OGs in this basketball player podcast space. Do you guys think that you could have done a podcast when you were playing? Like we see guys now, Draymond, PG, amongst other people. We see PG right now getting packed up. I saw a stat, more podcast clips than field goal attempts, nearly midway through the season.
Yeah,
but
I'm not mad at the guys that are currently playing that are doing it, but I wouldn't do it. It's just you're setting yourself up.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up for too much bullshit. You know, PG's having a down year, so people expect him. They think our whole entire life is go get in the gym. You know what I mean? And he's on his free time and shooting his pod, but he's just taking a lot of unwarranted bullshit. Draymond doesn't really care, but he takes a lot of heat too. But I like the fact that you can hear right from Draymond's mouth. Remember in the finals, some shit happened. And instead of talking to any of the reporters, he went on his show and told them exactly what happened. So I love that side of it. But yeah, I wouldn't do it while I was playing.
Stak, would you do a podcast when you were playing? Would you do one if you were a player?
Absolutely not.
Jack was making, hold on. Jack was making mixtapes and CDs, but you wouldn't do a podcast while you were playing?
Let me tell you why I wouldn't do a podcast.
Nick was on tour.
Because I could rap because I wasn't talking about basketball. I was talking about street shit. I get on the podcast and talk about the referees and all that. I'm getting fined.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can get fined for speaking my mind, but if I got on, because I know me, I said the shit to the referees. I can imagine if I had a computer to go talk to, I was going to say some shit that was going to get me kicked out the league. So no, I wouldn't have done it because it wouldn't have been beneficial for 5.
Is the podcasting affecting Podcast P?
Is his podcast affecting him? I don't think so.
I don't think it got nothing to do with the podcast. I just think P got to find his love for the game again, bro. I mean, I've never been through injuries, so I don't know how injuries can deter somebody. You know what I'm saying? He's been through a lot. But for me, I have been through some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't, when I got on the court, that was all I had was basketball. You know what I'm saying? So I just think he got to get his love for the game back because that ain't the P that we normally see, that we know, bro. We know P different than that.
Like, I mean, I did. I mean, it wasn't considered podcast at the time. It was blogging. So I blogged every week during the season, but it was for the NBA. But just like anything, it's only an hour, 2 hours, you know, during an off day. The only problem with having a podcast during your NBA playing career is your emotions during the season, right? Like after a game, how I'm feeling, I can just push motherfucking record and just go.
That ain't good.
That's,
right?
that's dangerous.
That becomes a
And
problem.
be emotional.
That's the dangerous part is
I'd rather be with the work.
when we push like go, right? It's all edited and shit, right?
Oh,
you know,
man.
so we edit out most of our feelings. Now that there's live, I can hit the live button and talk how I really feel, and that's what gets us
You
in
up,
trouble.
yeah. Lose sponsors, get your team mad at you, have your coach mad at you, get you traded. There's just too many other shit that could happen when you're doing it. But
And how long does it typically take you, say you got a bad loss, whatever, to get over that situation and get back to your normal self?
I'm gonna smoke it off that night.
Smoke it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna smoke it off that night.
It all depends on how you lost. Like, I mean, I got from the locker room all the way back to my house, which was like a 45-minute drive, not to push live.
Yeah. But you also got to think too, Joe. During the season, they're just. I mean, obviously some games hurt more than others, but there's so many fucking games.
Yeah.
You know, obviously playoffs hurts a little different, but the season, man, you got to let it go.
So question for the couch, and we were talking about a little bit, obviously, with your kids kind of making that next step to the next level, but do you feel like players love the game as much as they used to? Is there still a love for the game, and is that still a driving and motivating factor for guys nowadays?
I think people, too much is given too early, I feel like. And I hate to sound like an old motherfucker to say they didn't earn it, but there was just certain shit we had to do to get served. I'll tell you a perfect example. Gilbert used to come to UCLA in high school when I had just got to UCLA, and they wouldn't let him play. As cold as he ended up motherfucking being, they wouldn't let Gil play. So Gil would sit up there and shoot. Sometimes I'd rebound for him if I wasn't playing, but Gil would come up there every day, and they wouldn't let him play until he earned that respect. Then he went to Arizona and started busting Ray's ass. Where's Ray at? Ray's in here somewhere. And then all of a sudden that kind of shit changed. But there was certain shit we had to earn. And I'm all for kids getting money, players getting money, but I feel like, I remember at UCLA, I would get $2,500 every once in a while, and you couldn't tell me shit. I couldn't imagine getting $1 million or half it. Like, it has to take some of that desire and want and fight out because you have it. So to answer your question, Joe, I just don't think there's the same fight and grind because everything we fought and grind for, we got in the NBA. These kids are getting it before they even get there.
Yeah, we loved like basketball players, we love the game. We love the journey of it, right? The fight, the competition of it. It just seems like these guys don't love the main course as much as they used to, right? We didn't have side dishes, right? It was just the fucking steak or the fucking chicken. There was no beans and rice on the side. We didn't, that wasn't part of our game at the time, right? There was no side deals. The side deals came for, you know, everybody else, the Cobes and all of that stuff. So we only focused on the meal. Now, they got the little filet. They size as big as fuck, right? So if you don't want to play a motherfucker, they can sit, you know, they shoe deal, they getting 40 million, you know, they getting Patek, they getting fucking $50 million, you know? So the appetite outside of the NBA became so big that I don't know if they consider the game that important to them anymore.
I think.
Hold on, Jack. I'm gonna run. I gotta run, man. I appreciate you guys for having me. Bay, I love y'all. I gotta run. Yeah.
All right, good luck, baby. Tell them shoot it.
Don't pass. But
They don't pass any goddamn way.
shout out to Matt. He got to
Only
get
to each other.
get to his son's playoff games. Understand it. Wish him luck. They taking on the rival school, the school that I coach at. So I hope they bust their ass. But let's get over to Stak.
For me, I think I'm not gonna say the players don't love the game because there's some residue in there, guys some dogs that still love the game. But I think we love the game. I think they love what the game can do for them. Right? And it's similar to what Gil was saying. You know, like the grind and everything we had to get, the way we had to get, like even making it to the McDonald's game. That didn't guarantee you getting to the NBA. These days, if you on that pedestal where you top on Instagram or top in the McDonald's game, you guaranteed to go to the league. When we was coming up, that didn't mean shit.
Yeah.
You can make the McDonald's and still end up overseas. Now it's just totally different, where it's laid out for guys where you can get on social media, not be that good, but have a good following and still get to the NBA. So it was just different for us. We had to really grind in basketball, at our craft, at our sport to get there, and we loved that first. I think, like you said now, they just love what the game could do for them because so much coming to them early.
And then Shad, you real quick.
Yeah, man, I think it's the obvious. You know, it's not be. It used to be a privilege to play the game. You know, we get to play it. You know, and that was something that we fought for. It's getting to play the game and getting our family out of the struggle and making it on the big stage and proving that we deserve to be here. It was really the deserving part. Like, I deserve this. I fought for this, sweated for this. And everybody have the different routes and the different paths, but that's why I always talk about cheating the game. You can't cheat the game. You know, you can't fuck the game. Can't do any of those things. It's always gonna come back to you. So whether the guys love the game right now or not, the work they put in and the love they put into the game is gonna come back to them. So you're gonna reap the fruits of your labor. You're gonna see you're gonna get what you put in. You know what I'm saying? So I always say that, young fella, I can push you as hard as I want to, but you gotta reap the benefits of these results that you put in this shit. So if you don't get what you think you're getting, don't look at me like I'm supposed to give it to you. You're supposed to work for that.
Well, Stak, we appreciate you sticking around, taking your time. Obviously, Matt had to run, but we appreciate both y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to All the Smoke Productions. And want to give a shout out one more time to Anscape for sponsoring these All-Star Weekend shows. Make sure you check out my new film, Memes and Nightmares, premiering February 20th on Hulu. This has been another episode of Gil's Arena presented by Underdog. Whoa, whoa, woo, woo. We'll see y'all soon.